Hey, this is Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More. So we're talking to a toy company, a toy individual. I found these people at Toyfest. I like this company. I like what they had there, and it was very, very interesting. And for people that don't know, this is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, iHeartRadio, all the platforms around the world. And so, Nick, let's talk about this company. Why do I like your company? Why did we kind of connect? And then you've got a couple of interesting things going on, but talk about how this company came together. There's always a story that people don't always get a chance to see or hear.
That, that's right. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. Yes, I am the co-founder of a company called Randimals, and Randimals are combination animal toys and two children's books with a message. What makes us different makes all the difference in the world. And we started this company pretty much at the very beginning of COVID back in March of 2020. Now, we'd had the idea to do a toy company based on sort of combination animals back in 2013. But at that time, neither my partner, Casey, or myself really had the know-how or the finances or the time to be able to explore what that might look like. And of course, when 2020 rolled around, my job pretty much evaporated. I worked in a performing arts center in Sun Valley, Idaho. And so shows were canceled. And as you know, we all had plenty of time on our hands. And Casey, my friend, to his credit, said there is never going to be another time for us to be able to put our head down and see if we can pull this off. And if it fails, it'll be a wonderful adventure anyway. And so with that, we embarked on putting one foot in front of the other to see if we could pull this off.
And the important thing about that, it is all about the arts. It's all about education. I love things that are environmentally friendly, sustainable. And the fact that you were in Sun Valley, well, that says a lot. Being in Idaho, that says another thing. I met another toy store owner from there, which was interesting. But the thing about that, these are important aspects. A lot of people don't know about these things. So it's our job. So like Movie Reviews and More is to introduce these companies like Randimals to other people that may or may not know where they come from. And that story you just told, it's all about that. You got one chance when the world is on lockdown, and you guys made something of that. And I like that. So that's a story that will forever be told because that's important. It is about important storytelling, authors and things like that in the arts. You don't get any more important than that.
You're absolutely right. And, since I started listening to a lot of podcasts, and it's amazing how much creativity took place during the lockdown. People that had ideas, that had time on their hands, and they just decided to go for it. And, we started with our first randomal. This is Hork. He is part horse and part shark. And so we created these hard toys from Photoshop pictures that we put together. And we created a line of plush toys. This is probably our number one seller that we can't keep in stock. This is also Hork in the plush toy. And then recently we came out with these little random minis, which are little Beanie Baby versions. But you're right. We wanted to create a toy company that had a heart and it had a message and it had a meaning. And so when we would show these toys to people, especially adults, some of them initially would say, ooh, those are different. Those are interesting, but they're different. And when we showed them to kids, kids very quickly just latched onto them and were intrigued by them and would come up with randomals of their own. And we started to sort of see that this message of this thing being different might be a kernel of an idea to lead to the message of the Randimals and ultimately the book. And so the message of the Randimals is what makes us different, makes all the difference in the world. And so this was a message that was at the time, is pretty timely and still timely now, that this notion that we are all different and that difference is our superpower. It's not just difference between, say, cultures, backgrounds, race, abilities, genders, but we are all intrinsically different from each other. And that's an amazing thing.
And that's what it's all about. Talk about your experience, whether you go, I don't know if you've been to the Astro Toy Convention. Talk about what the benefits are of going to that, and then being where you are. Are you in that touristy town where you rely on a lot of people coming in, a lot of visitors coming in?
The town, absolutely. The town is a complete, relying on tourist town. It was the first ski resort in North America, and it's got a lot of history. I should just mention, actually, I just noticed him over the back of my shoulder here. This is Ollie. Yeah, he was part Basset and part Lab, and he was the inspiration for Randimals. He was very different. He had an incredible personality, and he was a combination of, like I said, a Basset. He had the lovingness of a Lab and the stubbornness of a Basset. And so he was the idea for Randimals. And, I would love to just sort of say the idea of the book, if that was appropriate, just because I think that it helps show how we got to where we are. But if that's appropriate to do now, I will. Otherwise, we can save it for later. But to answer your question about the trade shows, yes, we just attended our first one, Toyfest, as you know. We tried to go to the Toy Fair for the last 2 years, but they were canceled because of COVID. And so prior to that, we'd just been selling online. And it was amazing to be at the Toy Fest show. At the beginning, you were saying, yes, this is the Randimals company. And, it still seems incredible to me to think of ourselves as a company, because we are essentially two friends that started this company back in 2020. With that said, we've hired people from around the world through an amazing website called Upworks. And that too ties into our message. On the back of the book, you can see all these different people from different parts of the world, from Armenia, from Pakistan, from Colombia to Nepal. And they all bring their own special sauce to Randimals. And so that is really in keeping with our message as well.
And that's one of the things that I liked about it, because I saw something that was creative. I saw something that made me stop. I no matter what convention I go to, whether it's a NAMM convention, which was this weekend, or the TCM Film Festival, which was also this weekend, Coachella. I usually do a lot of these things, but for Toy Fest, I never knew we were going to enter the world of Toy Fest, of toys. And what happened for that, when I'm interviewing or meeting inventors, the buyers, the manufacturers, it's about introducing those people to the audience who need to buy these great products, that don't know that they're out there. That's our job when it comes to movie reviews and more, to help to get the word out that there's great products out there that you've never even heard of. And how do I know? I ask a lot of my friends in the industry, have you ever heard of this company? Well, your kids are going to like this. Your nephews or your nieces are going to like this. They're great products. So I take my hat off, and I take pride in knowing and meeting new people like this, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And that's most important, is getting the help to get to tell your story out there.
Well, I can't thank you enough. That is so generous. I have to admit that when we went to the Toy Fest, we were intimidated. We've never been in the toy industry before. We are just two friends, like I said, that had an idea and just put one foot in front of the other. And yeah, we had a lot of this sort of imposter syndrome. What is the toy industry going to think of us? Are they going to wrap their arms around us, or are they going to laugh? And these are the insecurities, I think, that I've had, and I think everybody has at one time or another throughout our lives. And I couldn't have been more happy by the reception that we got from not only the other vendors at the show, but reporters and stores. We picked up a number of reps that fell in love with the brand. And the one thing that they said is that, this is really fresh. This is timely, and this is a new, fresh take on plush. And they really liked the idea of bringing in the story. And I don't know if I showed you this. Did I show you this, Brian, at the Toy Fest?
I don't remember seeing that. No. That's pretty cool.
Well, a lot of people ask us, how did the Randimals get started? How did it begin? And I think it's really important to sort of understand how that happened in the fictional world of the Randimals. Ollie, my dog, he used to chew up toys all the time. That was his thing. He used to destroy toys and he used to chew them up. And that was part of the inspiration too. And I have to tell you, looking for a story for Randimals and how it began, I just immersed myself in all things Pixar, and we watched Toy Story 1, 2, 3 over and over again, trying to get some inspiration and idea. And, between you and I and whoever else is watching, the real inspiration for Randimals came from watching Toy Story and imagining perhaps what Sid might have grown up to be. You know, the kid next door that used to destroy his toys? We wondered what happened to Sid. And that was sort of a jumping off point. Now, obviously, this story has nothing to do with Toy Story or Pixar, but that was the inspiration. And so we created this character, her name right here, this little girl here, she has a dog called Ollie, and Ollie chews up all of her toys in the middle of the night. But when she wakes up, she, first of all, is devastated, but then has this amazing idea. What if I took the part of the horse that's left and the part of my shark and put them together and create the Randimals? And that's how they got started. And then I won't give too much away, but they go on an adventure. They wind up in a toy store. And in the toy store, they were made fun of by the other animals. The other animal toys in the toy store were mean to the Randimals because they looked different. But Elorilla, who is elephant and gorilla, she taught the Randimals message that difference is our superpower.
Last question. Why should people go to the website and buy these? And what is the website and social media links?
Yeah, the website is randimals.com, and Randimals is our TikTok. I love TikTok. TikTok helped us get to where we are and allowed us to go to Toyfest. It blew us up in the beginning, not necessarily for posts that I did, but influencer posts that grabbed a hold of the brand. And if you go to our homepage at the bottom, you'll see the first 2 TikToks that blew us up. They got over 1 million views and led us to sell out on Amazon. And it was at that point we thought, you know, maybe we might have something here. So yes, please, if you would like to go visit the website, it tells the whole history of the brand. It tells all the different personalities of the Randimals. And the page that might be most interesting, maybe, if you're interested in the Randimals, is go to the press and awards page. And on the left-hand side, there's a link. We did a show back here in December for 300 kids. It was like Sesame Street meets TED Talks. And we did a whole lot of interactive games with kids, having them create their own Randimals. And then we also do on our website direct messages. You can request an animated message from the Randimals. So there's lots of stuff on the Randimals website to delve into if you wanted to learn more.
All right, it's all about Randimals. Now I know, remember why, because when you're watching and looking and paying attention to all these companies, who needs to help? What makes them important? What my friends, if I introduce you, since you like Pixar, well, we deal with Pixar, we deal with Disney, we deal with Discovery, we deal with Net Geo, all these people, because it's, after all, it's movie reviews and more. That's how we started. So when I see these people don't know about these things. So it's an honor to tell them about these companies that they've never seen or heard of. That's what makes me happy. And that's when it comes to, it's great to connect these toys with these companies, with these buyers, these manufacturers, and the inventors, and to tell your story. If it weren't for lockdown, would you be doing this?
No, absolutely
right?
not. Not absolutely not. And to anybody watching this video, if you have any connections to a studio or Pixar, we do have a company in LA that's working on developing an animated series based on the Randimals. But if any of your viewers out there wanted to know more or help, then please, we have a script ready to go right here. The Randimals book.
Good to know that. All right, Nick. It's all about Randimals. Hey, this is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More. And don't forget to click and follow them, subscribe to them. And I will be posting this on 13 other websites like I always do for our live shows, our tape shows, and that's how you get spread out all over the place. So with that, Movie Reviews and More, we will see you next week.
Thank you so much, Brian.